Welcome back to Wake Up America. The New York Times is stirring up the conversation on puberty blockers this week with an article titled, "They Pause Puberty, but Is There a Cost?" For more on this, let's welcome in the Florida Surgeon General and author of the book Transcend Fear, a blueprint for mindful leadership in public health, Dr. Joseph Ladapo. Sir, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today. So, Dr. Ladapo, you're dealing with this issue in your home state of Florida. In fact, a joint committee of the states to medical departments. Basically, I do want to get into these puberty blockers, and there's this conversation going on in the media and with parents. Can you just talk to our viewers more about what this does specifically to children's mental health as well as their physical health?
Yeah, sure. And it's confusing because I think for most parents, they're just instinctively, as parents, thinking that it doesn't make sense to be interfering with these processes that happen in adolescence in terms of hormonal development. And is it really okay am I really doing the right thing if my child says that he or she feels like another gender, which we have compassion for. Kids feel all sorts of things and they go through all sorts of changes, and compassion as a parent is probably the most important thing that we need to bring. But so parents feel uncomfortable with this innately, but here you have all of these MDs and PhDs saying that, oh, it's okay to block these hormones and it's okay to change sex organs in your little kid who is, who him or herself is changing. And ultimately, the truth is what the parent's instinct is, which is that these therapies, they are completely experimental. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And they can't be reversed, right? I mean, once you go through this, you can't go back, correct?
That's even one of the more profound things about the debate that's happening, because truly the long-term effects in terms of the effects of these hormonal therapies and puberty blockers on children in terms of their ability to procreate, their sterile, whether they have an increased risk of sterility, it's actually unknown. So it's even more bizarre that physicians are pushing these. You're absolutely right. There are potentially effects that are totally irreversible.
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on in your state. So a joint committee of the state's two medical boards recently voted to approve a ban on these puberty blockers. How important is that's happening in your state, and do you think other states may follow?
What's incredibly important, one of the things that we've seen over the last 2 years is that oftentimes many people feel a certain way, but don't feel that they can come out and say it because there's just too much pushback, or there's going to be too much negative attention, and they don't feel comfortable with that. And I get it. I hope that people still do those things and say what they believe, but I get it. But what the Board of Medicine and the Board of Osteopathic Medicine have done in Florida in terms of looking at the evidence and reaching what is completely a sensible decision that these experimental treatments are totally inappropriate for children, completely inappropriate. I mean, that is the honest truth, is I think lends some support to other people who feel similarly, but again, just don't want to be attacked by the media and be called names and be called bigoted and things like that. And really, ironically, it's coming from a place of love. It's love for children and protecting children.
Absolutely.
That you don't want them doing these experimental treatments.
Yeah. And again, kids, they may think they want something now and 3 or 4 years later decide that isn't what I wanted. Dr. Joseph Ladapo, thank you so much. Your new book is out. Everyone should grab a copy. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.